Hello everyone! In the last video we had a look at what square roots are. So in this one we are going to have a look at how we can add and subtract those new types of numbers. Normally I'd like to really go into why something works or why something is true, but in this case that's very complicated. So instead I'm going to try to give you something to connect it to have it make some sort of sense so you can work with it. And for that, we're going to go back to how adding and subtracting works in variables with like terms. And after that, we are going to apply that same logic to square roots. So let's start by reminding ourselves of like terms in variables. So suppose you want to calculate a plus a. Then we've got two a's, so that is just 2a. And that same logic goes for a plus a plus a plus a plus a. We've got 5 of them, so that's 5a. And with that logic, we can also start adding and subtracting these things. So maybe 5a minus 2a. If we have 5 a's, we take away 2 of them, we are still left with 3 a's. However, once we get different variables, so maybe a plus c, we have two different things and we can't just add them together. So a plus c just stays the same. It just stays a plus c, nothing we can do with it. And the same thing is true if there's a number in front. 3a plus 5c, they're still not like terms. They do not have the same variable. So this as well just stays the same. So that's just a very quick, very short reminder of like terms. We can add like terms. We cannot add them when they are not like. So now we are going to try to apply this logic to square roots. Suppose I want to add square root 7 plus square root 7. Then this is just kind of the same thing as a plus a. I just fill in that a is square root 7. So a square root 7 plus a square root 7 is, I've got 2 of them, that is 2 square root 7. And the same applies if I've got a lot of them. That is just the same idea as all those a's added together. I've got 5 of them, so I've got 5 square root 7. This actually means that also 2 square root 7 and 5 square root 7 are numbers. They are valid numbers that we are going to be calculating with. And if they're numbers, we can add and subtract them. 5 square root 7 minus 2 square root 7. Just like 5a minus 2a, if I had 5 of them, I take away 2, I'm going to be left with 3 square root 7. So as long as it stays the same square root, we're all good. But the moment we get different square roots, square root 7 plus square root 11, this starts becoming like the a plus c thing. We can't add them together, unfortunately. They're different, they're not like terms, so we just have to keep it as is. If you want to try it out, you can type into your calculator square root 7 plus square root 11, and you can also type into your calculator square root 18, and you will find that they are different. Why they are different is quite complicated, so that is exactly the thing I'm not going to get into. But what you have to remember is that you can only add square roots if they are if they have the same number in them. So again, also the same goes for 3 square root 7 plus 5 square root 11. This is again like 3a plus 5c, adding apples and pears, it's not going to work. We just have to keep it as is. So in conclusion, you can add square roots exactly when they contain the same number, when they are like terms. Just like you can only add or subtract variables if they are the same variable, the same letter. And also keep in mind, this is only important if you need exact answers. All of these answers, 2 square root 7, 5 square root 7, square root 7 plus square root 11, they're all exact answers. Of course, you can type all those calculations into your calculator, but that's only going to give approximations. So whether you need this is going to depend on what answer is asked. So that was a very quick crash course in adding and subtracting square roots. I hope this gave you a bit of an idea of how to go about this, and let's start practicing.